What is going down, everyone? It's time for MojoBreak.com, The Hype, episode 329. Lots of stuff going on. Wemby Mania, we're going to look at some sales on some early Wemby cards. Fanatics has had a couple boo-boos with some jerseys, with some cards. We'll talk about that. We also have Whatnot in the news again for another breaker doing some bad things. So we'll discuss all that and more. We're also going to reach into the mailbag. We got a question about the 2024 NFL draft as it approaches and combines are starting. So we will dive into that, especially with the two companies involved and how this affects collecting. Check out MojoBreakShop.com. We've got a savings coupon for you guys, $25 off any purchase over $100. Use code March25 to save $25 off if you want to grab a box of brand new Finest MLS. You want to get Series 1 Hobby or Jumbo, you could save $25, and that is a flash sale. So get on that right now. Get that box delivered right to your doorstep and get in at MojoBreakShop.com. Discount code March25. If you want to win a box of Series 1, head on over to our Instagram contest. Pick a winner of the World Series, which it's okay to put Giants. I know it's a little far-fetched. You can put Giants and tag your friend, and your friend will win a box too if we pick you at random. So lots of stuff going on. We're also going to have a special event of Fanatics Live on Monday with a celebrity, so be sure to check in on that. We're going to have a ton of giveaways and some cool stuff going on. C-Rad has been in the news. He pulled the Kobe on 2/24/24. He pulled it out of 18-19 contenders, had a great reaction, got pushed through social media. Also was seen at WWE Raw. How does it feel to get a lot of media attention?
It feels good. It feels great. It feels great. And I will say the one thing that was awesome, obviously, besides especially pulling that Kobe, is like you start to realize the impact sometimes of like it might not be a big deal to everybody, obviously. But like there was customers who was telling me like I remember when Kobe passed away, it was a sad day for sports, right? I mean, I cried, and then like every time they do any kind of memorial for him, statue unveiling stuff, like it's always emotional and sad. And then like I had customers tell me like that, me hitting that card on the 24th, like, and it was jersey number 24. They cried of me hitting that card, and nice. that just that fit that damn. Like. You start to realize, like, damn, dude, like, sometimes, like, this stuff means more than cards, you know what I mean? Yep. More than cardboard. So.
Nice. It just took you a week off of the hype, then you got right back into hit cards like that, you know what I'm saying? Me and Dan were saying last week might have been the best podcast we ever did.
Jeez.
With the
business.
I mean.
Well, see you guys.
I don't know. We didn't talk much about sports cards or sports. It was about 20 minutes of the Apple glasses pod
Vision Pro.
There was
whatever the hell it's
there wasn't
called.
a lot of structure going on in that podcast.
It's all good.
Might have been some F-bombs. I don't know. Who knows? And I think we uploaded it just right in there.
Yeah.
No editing. No editing.
I like it. You're going old school, you know?
I was like, shoot.
Hey man, we've done a lot of these. They're not gonna always be the.
Can't all be winners.
I'll tell you guys the worst one we ever done was when Doug took off a week, and I was trying to be the producer for a week for me and Dan, and the whole episode all we would talk about was Raiders and Rams. I know that was probably,
it was good.
Probably
It was
the greatest one of all time.
It was also good. Second best. It was second best between Doug and myself last week. I actually thought it was pretty good.
Cody was on a vacation, came back from Italy.
Yeah, I'm back from Italy. Still not used to the time change. That's not me per se. That's more having a 2.5-year-old on the same trip. How
was that flight, man?
You know what? The way there was tough. Way back was fine.
Okay.
Way back was totally fine.
But you seen what I was talking about on the way there with the toddler.
It's tough.
On a long flight.
It was tough.
Did the ears pop?
You guys had help though, right?
Yes, yeah. My mom and whole family was there, so I got a lot of help. Unforgettable trip, amazing
food
time.
Question: what was the best thing you ate there?
Best thing. I have been telling everyone this. I had 3. I would say probably 3 of the best meals I've ever had in my life in that trip. There was a ravioli dish I had in Florence that I
will remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I swear to God, if someone is like, if I had a chance on my deathbed to be like, you can have, I will magically give you this last meal, I think I would choose that.
Nice.
It was that good.
Awesome.
Where I was blown away. There was some other thing that was like a fondue bread thing from Rome that was like, oh my God, just insane. Yeah, food was amazing.
What do they do differently over there?
Well, they speak a different language for one.
that makes the food different.
It makes the food different.
That makes the food better.
Yes,
So
They make it with love.
It does. No, I would say
I've always been curious.
The biggest difference that I noticed was like the Italian food that you're used to here. It's like, oh, pastas with meat sauce. Like, no, there's like very rarely like they're throwing in meat in a lot of the pasta. Like it's all cheese or spices. Like it's a lot of cheese based with the pasta. The big thing is they got that big cheese wheel too that they bring some certain types of pasta out. Also, breakfast.
They put the cheese on it for you.
Yeah.
And you tell them to stop.
No, it's like so they get like a giant wheel of cheese.
Okay.
And they have it like kind of carved like in a bowl shape, and they take the hot like they start sort of like they put like a brandy in there and light it so it gets melty, and then they start shaving it off. Then they get the hot pasta just cooked, put it in there, and they put the spices, they put the salt, the pepper, or whatever needs to be in there, and that's how they get it all ready to go right by your table. It was.
thought Wisconsin was the cheese capital of the world.
Oh no!
Yeah, 'cause
oh,
my
man.
wife
We ate so much cheese.
My
We ate
wife-
so much cheese.
My wife always gives me the eye, and I'll use Olive Garden, which we all know and love, which is not Italy food, but it's a nice.
When you're
knockoff
there,
of
your
it.
family,
Yeah, and they come by and they give you the salad, which is I think all you can eat. But they're like, "Would you like a little cheese on your salad?" And I'm just sitting there and they're like, "Tell me when to stop." And it's like 30 seconds. I think the wife's just like looking at me like, I'm like, "No, I want some more."
No, this is like
when do we stop?
This is a production. They put on a show for you. Also, the thing that was hard for this American to get used to, breakfast, not a thing there. Just not a thing.
That's my favorite meal.
It's you have a cup of
So
coffee.
they're saying they don't have eggs.
You have very rarely did I find places where you could get a breakfast with eggs. It was espresso and like a small pastry, but because you would have a 3-course meal for lunch and dinner.
Did you see
You
any
have
sports
so
card?
much
Did you
food.
see any sports card? Did you
No,
go see
okay.
Mr. Panini?
This is the one thing I was like, oh, am I gonna? I was like, I thought, especially in Rome, I thought, huge city, it's the biggest city in Italy. I'm gonna see Panini stuff, and I didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't in the right places. I saw tons of soccer gear, tons of Serie A stuff. That's the league there, and saw a bunch of it. But yeah, I was surprised. I was on the lookout, being like, "Where's Panini? Where's the Panini stuff? Where's Mr. Panini?" And couldn't find it. I don't know where the exact headquarters of Panini is in Italy, but they have to have a presence in Rome. That would be weird if they
Isn't
didn't.
there a Panini Italy, like a city?
Is it? The actual? I was gonna say, yeah. You're telling. Hell, I was just there. I should know. But yeah, amazing trip, amazing time. Missed the food, great time.
Yeah, I actually was. You got me on a food thought. I was watching a TikTok. You know how it is. Oh, they're in Modena, by the way.
Yeah.
Modena, Italy.
That's probably a smaller town, is what I'm guessing.
But I saw somebody take a Wagyu steak, and they cooked it in chocolate for about 3 hours in the oven. And then they actually, you would think they would keep the chocolate. They put most chocolate off, and then they seared it. And they said it was like the best bark ever because of the chocolate. You wouldn't think chocolate and steak would go out, but I think I might try it. I have to get down on that.
The real Wagyu, like the A5 from Japan.
Yeah, and they cooked it in chocolate, and then they took it out of the chocolate and seared it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sounds
you
like
gotta be really confident to do that because that's expensive.
So yeah, it
steak.
sounds like they
Yeah.
potentially ruined a really good steak.
Yeah. Oh, one last food thing. I ate, something I did not expect. Ate 3 steaks in Florence alone. Florence,
Did you have
very
any- did you have
very
any
famous
pizza?
for their steak. I did.
Okay, how's the pizza?
Delicious. Amazing. Not American pizza. Very different. Also was trying to not be that American tourist who ate pizza the whole time and then got to the last night of the trip and realized I haven't had any pizza. I was a little too much on that. So we found a place that was apparently a really, really good pizza spot right by our Airbnb. And yeah, got like 5 different types of pizzas. We literally were just like, give us the 5 best. And they just were like, here you go. Here are the 5 best.
And did most people speak English?
Yeah, it was very easy. I was kind of intimidated. Not so much in Rome. Florence, it's about 400,000 people in the city, so it's not a small town by any means. It's still a city. But I thought, it might be a little tougher. But no, everywhere I went, it was easy.
Did you drink any Peroni?
Yes, I did.
Is that
Oh,
like
man.
is that like the Budweiser of?
It's definitely the Budweiser.
It's a Budweiser of Italy.
Also, I had a Peroni beer that was, first of all, I was like, wow, it was this beer, and it was like 2% beer. I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't really count. But it was like a lemon lime. It tasted like Sprite. Tasted more like Sprite than regular Sprite.
Ooh.
And
Only 2%
I was like,
alcohol, though?
Yeah. I was like, okay, so you clearly mix this with maybe like you put this in like a Spritz as the big, Aperol Spritz over really big over there. So I'm like, this is probably more of a mixer.
Dang near and non-alcoholic right there. Beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So yeah, it was. But that was like, oh man, those were delicious. So yeah, good beer, good wine, good food, good sights, good times.
Nice.
Sweet.
Expected.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So the hobby's wild about Wemby. We got some pricing early on some Wemby cards, and it looks like a green Pulsar Prizm. We're talking specifically about the Prizm cards that came out last week, as everybody's been ripping it. There was a green Pulsar PSA 10 sold for $11,150. The Prizm Mania, which I think is absolutely hideous. It actually looks more like Steven Jackson than Victor Wembanyama on the card. But $9,700 for a Prizm Mania. I know they're super rare. Have you pulled one yet?
We pulled one in 20 cases.
But of
Luka.
Luka. Okay.
We pulled one on Fanatics Live. It was Dame Lillard.
Okay. I mean, I get it. And we're in the insert craze era of sports cards,
I think
but
they're pretty dope.
I don't know, man.
I think they're pretty dope.
I think they look a lot better than in the mock-ups in person.
I mean, if it wasn't the shininess is Silver Prism-esque, but I don't know. It's like a if Panini was to make like a Prism like Big League or something, I think.
I
that's
also
where it would
feel
fit.
like we've seen this, like the big head insert before, like either in baseball. I know
whammy.
The whammy. I know we've seen it in baseball. I think we talked about it already.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not like new. It's a new for Prism, but it's not like a new idea or design.
And then a blue cracked ice, which is number
125,
sold for $4,300.
I don't see a rookie card logo on that Wemby.
It's a
That's right on the bottom.
on the Prizm Mania.
Kind of blends in.
Yeah.
So $4,388 for a blue cracked ice. I don't know. I think you got to sell Wembanyama right now. I don't know. I don't think I would wait for him to get. I mean, he's going to be great, but
Yeah, I mean, he looks
these prices are
spectacular.
insane.
Well, here's the thing though. When we go back in history, and then we look at the Prizm, not the Prizm, but the Wembanyama rookie cards you want. Ain't the card you really want is going to be these Prizms? Pretty much.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I just don't know if he will outlive his hype when other people come in and the people are going to.
They got to be.
I mean,
they got to be 7'6" and do what he does.
Let's say that Wemby does have.
That's what I think is going against
Let's say hypothetically, let's see, Wemby did have autos in Prism. It was just like
Yeah.
any other year. Top rookie has these parallels. Obviously, if there's rookie autos, are not going for as much as they are, right?
100%. And if we knew that there were going to be autos in NT, there was going to be autos in all these other products, like rated rookie autos and stuff. Yeah, these parallels would not sell for as much as they do. Do you know what you want to surprise me? You don't have it on the slide, but the Color Blast Monopoly sold for $5,000.
Yeah, the Monopoly stuff's going crazy.
But that's the only way to get Color Blast right now.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And the cool thing about the Monopoly ones is that the Color Blast design, it's like the Monopoly Cash.
Do we really think these Monopoly cards are going to hold value in the long term?
I mean, isn't this what we said last year? And here we are a year later, and it's still hot. It's still
but they're
happening.
also readily available. It
Yeah.
looks like. I
And-
mean,
No, I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
Well,
And it's boosted by an exceptional rookie.
I go on TikTok, and every TikTok breaker that is breaking basketball is breaking Monopoly.
Because
So
they can't get Prism hobby.
yeah, but so
This
I mean,
is the Prizm you can get.
it is somebody is getting it and getting a lot of it.
Yeah.
That or they're buying from bots or people that went to their local
Yeah,
I
I know.
will-
I know
yeah.
Target allows you to buy 5 on the app.
Yeah.
5 at a time.
Does anybody know how much blasters? I know you could buy the
$29.99.
set. I would assume if you bought like the game board, you would get some cards, but I don't know if you're
I
going to
think
have
you get
good
a couple
odds.
packs in the
Oh,
game,
okay. They're
game
going to be the
board.
same packs though.
I don't know if they're the same packs, but I know you should get at least 1 or 2 packs in that game board.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 9 days clean from playing Monopoly Go now, so I can understand why there's a little bit of an addiction there.
Listen, tomorrow they'll give you your chip. Yeah.
No,
You're
I've
definitely go
completely gone off the app. I'm not. I'm done.
Good for you.
I'm done because why spend money for nothing? It's literally stupid.
What does Monopoly Go?
Oh, don't even try it.
Oh God!
Don't even go on there,
open up a
dude.
can of worms.
Is
dude.
that like Pokemon Go, but Monopoly version of it?
It's an app where you know it's a game that gets people addicted, but you can spend real money on it. Obviously, like all these other app games.
Yeah.
What do you?
So
Well, they're like,
what do you-
I
you
can't keep going.
basically-
Well, but I would spend $10. I'll get all these items that I could use.
Yeah,
to
there's
keep
basically
rolling.
you roll around the board. You got to build, and you go to different cities, and you build more hotels, and then you keep moving up. And there's no end in sight. You can't win the game. You're just playing against your friends, and then you can like knock their hotels down and stuff like that. Then they have like mini games inside of it. Like if you and your friends build a cake, you get 5,000 dice to roll, so you can play longer. So like I attributed the dice to like Crack Rock. So like I need more Crack Rock to play the game. So it kind of spiraled for me. So I had to stop playing it. I was killing everybody. I was beating all my friends, but then at the end of the day, what am I doing? I'm just wasting my time. So
You're hooking up the fine people at is it
Hasbro.
Parker
Hasbro.
Brothers?
I believe it's Hasbro.
It's Hasbro.
Is it not Parker Brothers?
I have to look it up.
Was
I
it
think
not? Oh, I
Parker
think I
Brothers
think
might have
it's
gotten bought by Hasbro. In fact,
Parker Brothers,
And
man.
you get stickers to build sets, just like collecting cards.
Parker
It was-
Brothers. No, I mean, you sound like that does sound right. Parker Brothers, yes, it was. It's now owned by Hasbro, but Parker Brothers was the original Monopoly.
Yeah, I honestly
Clue.
haven't been a fan
Yeah.
of Monopoly since the Parker Bros
Yeah.
got out of the game.
Also,
Big Parker Bros fans.
yeah,
also,
I always really
sorry.
liked what they were doing with Monopoly. since day
Risk,
one.
Trivial Pursuit, Bop It, Scrabble.
Ooh, I like Bop It.
Dude,
Bop
Bop It is
Loved Bop
maddening. There's nothing to like.
When they
about
went
it.
to Bop It Extreme, though, they added
Wait,
like
wait,
4
they
other
went-
dongles.
they went to what?
Oh.
They went to what?
Oh, you weren't there for Bop It Extreme. So, yeah, you have, Bop It, Pull It, Twist It.
Was Parker Brothers? Was that where they did?
I
the
think that
origi-
was the
did-
Hasbro
Did they
switch.
do the original?
Yes.
Yeah, because I
then the
remember
moment Hasbro-
Bop It when it was with my bros.
And then
of
the
the
moment
Parker
Hasbro
variety.
brought it on, they're like, you know what? What if we brought in a Flick It? And what if we brought in there was another one, too. There was like 3 other ones.
Because Bop It had you.
And then it just became this monstrosity.
How
Bop It
do you have
had-
enough appendages to play that?
Yeah,
You know
it
what
was
I'm
too
saying?
much.
Bop It had like you twisted it, you pulled it,
And you bopped it.
and you bopped it.
And that was it. That's all you needed. It was challenging enough with 3.
Hard game.
It was.
Hard game.
Stuff.
Bop it.
I break it eventually. Throw it against the wall.
I got one.
But back to Wemby. We are still doing Prizm breaks, so check out mojobreak.com. Get in on some breaks for Prizm. I know you pulled the Mojo to 25.
Best one of the week. Yep.
So if the number to 125 sold for 4,000, this has got to be at
God.
least over 10K, right?
5x it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so $25,000 card.
I will see the argument of what C-Rad's saying, that the number 1 card you want of Wemby is a Prizm rookie card. And if you have a really good one, then I can see the argument of, well, I got to hold on because, look, we all are seeing what he's doing. We all see it. Like, he's getting better as the season goes on.
But
and every time I see a new thing where, what was that game he had where it was like the first guy
11
to do like
blocks or something?
25. Well, first of all, he had the triple double with 10 blocks. Then he had one where it was like 25, 10, 10, 5, 5, and 5. I'm like, and it's like, yeah, he's the first rookie to ever do that. Like,
What are his silvers going for?
Ooh,
All we know is that his
see-
PSA
they're-
10s went for around like 1,900.
Yeah, I'll
And-
double check right now.
And I got a question for you guys. Doug and I were talking about it and posed a question in the Fanatics live chat when we were ripping it on Monday. If you have a choice between a black gold numbered to 5
Yeah.
or a true gold, which one are you going with?
Black
Gold number to 5.
Black gold number to 5 or a
gold.
true gold number to 10? Not the gold shimmer. We're talking your daddy's
I
gold.
mean,
Talking gold regular.
I mean, yeah, probably black gold.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I said.
Probably black gold. It's
Little
number to
bit more
5.
rare, yeah.
It looks cool, too.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
not
I know that gold is
isn't-
the classic.
That isn't an OG color.
I know,
and
you're on an island by
and
yourself
I
over here.
honestly don't think the black gold is going to sell for more than an OG gold.
I don't know. Basketball collectors love the black gold, though.
Yeah,
They actually did it right this year. The
Well,
design actually looks good.
So
this
I
year.
am in the minority there, but yeah,
and you know
I am
what?
going.
This could be the year where it finally, it's like, well, the Wemby, Wemby's black gold. It makes it this iconic card that it locks it in.
I bet it doesn't.
As iconic as
I bet it doesn't.
I'll be honest, man. Most of these
good.
You act like I said gold shimmer, man.
This-
I'm not a monster
I
over
know,
here.
I know.
Anywhere from 7 to 900 on the silvers.
Yeah,
raw.
it's
raw.
right?
Raw,
Yeah.
like
Gosh.
that is
It's a lot.
crazy.
The highest one I've seen, this best. Oh, here you go. A bid was a PSA 10 graded. That's probably out of retail.
And how much do you think?
2500,
There's probably no gold up on the
2550.
bay, right?
No, I haven't seen.
And
yeah.
I was gonna say,
What do we think of gold? A gold 70,000.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
70
Considering where we're
70
at,
1, yeah. 70
the
to
high end
100
here so far is the green Polestar that we're looking at.
Well, let me
so-
ask you guys this, because I'm going to be the devil's advocate in this scenario here. Who are the top 5 hobby collected players of all time in basketball? Just name top 5. Who are they?
Jordan, LeBron,
Jordan, LeBron,
Curry, Luka.
Yep.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Kobe's probably.
Are any of those guys over 7 foot? That's my point. That's my point.
I mean,
LeBron's pretty cool.
but
He's like what,
the,
6'11"?
think of the 7-footers from those eras. We're in a whole.
Shaq should sell for a lot
Sure,
more than he does.
But we're in a whole different era of
I'll tell you
7-footers
what,
right
if
now.
Shaq could bust threes back in those days,
I mean-
he'd be a top 5 guy
Yeah.
right now.
Shaq
We're
couldn't even
in
make
the-
a
we
free
are-
throw, man.
We are firmly entrenched in the era of the dynamic big man right now. The big man who can do it all. Giannis, Joel Embiid,
Ben Simmons.
Jokic.
Every team's gonna need a player like
And
Simmons was supposed to
Wemby
be the
is
guy.
the nexus. Wemby is sort of the guy
Wemby's
who
the
like brings it all
evolution
together.
of Jokic and
Right.
Giannis. And moving forward, if you're an NBA team, you need a player like Chet or Wemby to be competitive with these guys who are obviously going to lead their teams and be these guys you can't stop because you're just not taught.
Hell, look at a guy who we all thought was going to be that big guy that has completely changed the dynamic of the Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis.
But what about
Like,
can we
he's
put
com- he's
can we
kinda
put Kevin
become-
Durant?
unlocked something
Isn't
there.
like Kevin Durant like the OG?
I think you can put him in there.
He's like the OG of this player,
Yeah.
like this type of player. It's like KD is like the first.
More of like a pure
And,
scorer.
and
though.
granted, I guess he's like 6'11".
Yeah.
he's not
And
quite
I
7
always-
foot. I guess it doesn't count.
And
but
he feels more like just a pure scorer, rather other than these guys who are kind of like do it all, sort of on both ends of the court.
I think I'll take Kevin Durant
Don't
on
get
my
me wrong.
team
Yeah, of
over Wemby
think-
right now.
Chet.
Well-
I think Chet, Victor, and Kevin need to go to Florence and get some meals.
yeah, beef
personally.
up.
But because
Get
I think
some
I probably weigh the same amount as Wemby, and I'm 2 inches.
Although I will say it's so much walking that you're not going to be holding
Yeah,
that
burn it
weight.
off. You need
Yeah,
the-
I
you need
was
those
going to say
carbs,
I
yeah.
actually lost weight. I came
great.
back like I ate
It's crazy.
so
Wemby,
much food.
Wemby was able to overcome the Britney Spears thing to become a good pro. I thought the career might
Truly
be over
thought that was
before
the
it
curse.
started. I thought it was done.
Yeah, I thought he was done. You're right.
Oh, and if anybody was wondering, the product Prizm might have taken a hit on Monday. I pulled a LeBron Black 101 Prizm break. It's done. I killed the product.
Prism Break 101?
Yeah,
Wow.
which I didn't know was a 101 because it was purple, but
Huh?
it was purple then black in the middle.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, the inserts are always tough to see.
Yeah, because I was
If
like to
they're-
90 now because I thought it was gonna be a purple parallel, but it was just the border was purple, the middle was black.
I got to see a picture of this bad boy.
Might be still in there, but it's just a casual day for me, so I didn't even post it on Instagram
biggie.
or nothing. So
Just another day.
Is it the Prismania? Whatever is that the big head card?
yes, and that's the
Um,
shortest print to chase in the entire product.
Do they have parallels of those?
No.
They're just okay. So it's not like kabooms where you have like green kabooms, gold kabooms.
All right, so for this next segment, we're going to reach into the mailbag. We had somebody on the Fanatics, or on the Hype group, I should say. That's not called Fanatics yet, unless they want to buy it. But reach out to us if they'd like.
I think we have like 240 people on there. So
Oh.
I'd probably, if I'm Fanatics, I'm probably jumping in on that. Buy low right now.
I would value all those users at least
$1 million.
$10,000 a piece.
Sure.
I'd say $1 million a piece,
Yeah,
probably.
absolutely.
240 million, please.
Yeah, I actually tried to. On a side note, I did try to make it a little bit more public, but it wouldn't let me. But you guys can invite your friends now without having us.
Tell your friends.
So yeah, tell your friends. But anyways, we've got a question here from. Let me pull it up here. Mark Y. Thank you. Rookies incoming for the 2024 NFL Draft, and who should we be chasing? And that's a good question because I think you got a lot of stuff going on with the combine, and it's going to be a pretty stacked quarterback rookie class. First off, I seen the video of Justin Fields celebrating. His agent put it out there that he was very happy about something last night.
He's going home.
Some say that he said, I'm going home, which would be in Georgia, which would say that he's going to the Falcons, which would mean the Bears were probably taking Caleb Williams. So you've got that maybe brewing. That or the Bears gave him an extension. So
I'd be shocked.
I would
There's
be
no
shocked.
way they can give him an extension.
I don't even know how we can go from, is he going to be the starting quarterback? Or are they going to trade him to, we're going to extend him?
no,
Feels like that's a
it's been
full
cryptic.
180 right there.
It's been cryptic because right after the season ended, they put out a highlight reel of him and put JF11, number 1.
And the fans want. I mean, there was that the last few games. The fans were all on his side. He had a great stretch run. There was a big chant of just saying Justin Fields, like we want Fields, we want Fields. So the fans have spoken. I don't know. We'll see.
Atlanta
It's an
Atlanta
interesting
makes
case.
a lot of sense though.
They-
because
it would be a great
Desmond
spot for
Ritter.
him.
Desmond Ritter, I don't believe is the guy.
It would be a fantastic landing spot for him. Really good. I would love to see what he could do with Bijan Robinson with those guys right there. And that's a division that's up for grabs right now.
I think what made it really hard for Desmond Ritter is all those autographs he still has to sign at Panini's rookie roundup. You know, he had like
Hand got tired.
60,000. No, I'm kidding. But there's a lot of stuff. I mean, J.J. McCarthy's moving up on people's boards. Drake May. I mean, you've got a lot of teams like needing quarterbacks. I guess just the play into this is which ones are going to be Fanatics exclusives. How is this going to affect Panini products? Is Topps going to come out with in-season football products? Because we haven't seen that yet. We've seen them come out with C.J. Stroud stuff prior to the season in the collegiate uniform. Then they didn't use C.J. Stroud other than I think he was in Ginter. They didn't use him, and they had his own product. But you didn't see him in anything else, so you're basically getting no autos of these rookies for the entire year. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Who do we know for sure right now is a Fanatics exclusive? Caleb Williams is almost surely a Fanatics exclusive. After that, we don't really know.
I thought there's rumors going around that it was
Penix, Daniels,
May. It was like
all the guys, all the big QBs.
Yeah, I mean,
Marvin Harrison, too. I would assume.
You can go on to. I went on to this the other day. Fanatics exclusive athletes, and I know this covers mainly the memorabilia side of things, but I think with any of these newer guys, it is probably a card deal too.
Yeah, it should give you that should give you a hint.
but we potentially could be looking at 5 quarterbacks again selected in the first round, which is insane. It's insane that like 2 years, that's 10 quarterbacks.
It's pretty nuts.
Like that means throughout we're not hitting on all of them. Like teams are like
We're not on a good percentage.
yeah,
Right.
teams are. I mean, you go
Right.
back to even like 2020, and there's guys you're like, well, didn't hit on like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is not going to be a Jet anymore. They basically came out today and said that he can go look for a trade. He can go look. We're getting rid of you.
And he's looking, and everyone's going, "Don't look at me."
He'll get a bat. He'll get traded somewhere for probably like a 5th or 6th
They have
round pick.
Chop Robinson. Don't know who he is, but he's a 2024 draft prospect. He is on the exclusive list. Archie Manning. Oh, never mind. That's the retired.
Yeah,
that's
Archie
Daddy.
is
That's
a
Papa.
Panini.
That's Grandpa. But Caleb Williams is on this list
Okay.
as well. Brock Purdy is on here. Max Crosby, Breece Hall, Nick Foles.
You got to
Joe Burrow.
I think we can almost assume that most of the QBs will be there. I almost want to assume
Financially, does it really make sense though? Like again,
Yeah.
Panini only has one more year. Are you going to spend all this money to essentially lock up
Yeah.
all these guys? And
You're gonna
we've
have them next
seen-
year anyway.
We've seen in 2023 they didn't do an amazing job of monetizing the guys that they signed to an exclusive deal. Bryce Young, Stroud, Levis.
On the other hand, I'm just thinking about it right now. On the other hand, like what you just said, coming off of what you just said, do they also want to take the risk of letting Panini having the chance to sign these guys to exclusive, and then when they get the license, they can't make autographs of them.
True.
Right. So that's probably why they have to kind of pay
That's
up
why.
early.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it
That's
now.
a good point. Didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It's a curveball.
I just
Curveball.
thought,
That's
I'm like,
smart.
Panini
That's
gives you a
smart.
20-year deal, you know.
That's smart business. Are you?
Because they
you got
went
you got a
out-
seat at the table. Are you making those calls? Because that's pretty smart.
because Panini already went out and signed Arch Manning 2 years ago or whatever, something, or like
that-
last year. Which, like, you know, is fairly early. And now
But
I
he-
heard
but
they're
he-
going after, like, high school. Like,
but
Yeah, I
he's-
mean,
high school kids now.
But Arch Manning isn't even going to play this year. I mean, he's going to be on the on the team.
Quinn Ewers is gonna
But-
probably play one more year.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, I have my first, we're playing 2A, 6-7-year-old softball girls this weekend. I mean, if I see Jason Howarth out there, I mean, I don't know. We might be trying to get NILs at this age. You know, it might start happening.
No, I know
I think
that-
legally,
yeah.
I think the NIL deal would be with you.
Oh, that's
true.
I
Yeah.
don't think
Let's talk, yeah.
With the
I don't
parents?
think a child could sign a contract
No.
Maybe.
for an autograph. No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't hold up.
I mean, sadly, it'd be like, hey, we're gonna give you a couple squishies, a couple, squishmallows here for
Squishmallows.
for a long term
Free
deal.
run. Yeah, we'll give you $5,000 in Roblox credit.
Yes.
Mojo should sign Landon right now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
NIL
Make
deal.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
make
true.
sure-
Yeah, get ahead of the game.
Get all of our
In
kids
case
signed
he
to our.
becomes a Ram, one
You
day.
never know.
I mean,
You never know.
it's probably going to be more of a handprint than a signature, to be honest with you.
Or it'll be adorable.
drool stain.
So it'll be adorable, is what you're telling me. On top
we
of
got-
it being lucrative.
We got a lot of bibs that we can cut up.
There you go.
Used.
I'll
Good
throw.
memorabilia right there.
Can I throw out of the guys of all those players? Who would I be in on right now? I'm gonna throw a little bit. Speaking of throwing a curveball, because talk about these QBs the last few years. Stroud last year was a slam dunk. Everybody else was kind of like Anthony Richardson had the injuries. Levis had one big game. Bryce Young had a terrible season. The year before, Brock Purdy's the only guy, and he was the last pick of the draft. But the thing that's been happening the last few years is there have been really dynamic receivers who early on were blowing up in the hobby. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison Jr. to me is the safest bet. Like, I think he's going to be a stud in this league, whichever team takes him. And I think there's going to be a lot of teams that maybe decide to trade up that are good teams that try to take him. I saw some crazy trade proposal 49ers apparently.
To get
Trading
Marvin
up,
Harrison.
trading up from
Blasphemy, dude.
Whoa!
He needs to go to the Colts.
Well, I
man.
would take that if we got rid of Brandon Ayuk. I will.
That's what it was. It was Ayuk and a first rounder moving up to get
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm
does
like,
not go to the Colts. I'm rioting.
Well,
Nobody-
this is according to Bucky Brooks. This happened.
yeah,
this
give me
The way
Harrison
the
at least-
second
at least for
overall
this year, give me
pick for the Niners' 31st pick.
and Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk, who
And
is
Brandon
who
Ayuk.
is a free agent after the 25 season.
I don't know.
Oh, dude,
like I said, it's not likely,
not-
but I was like, oh,
Well, this
Niner
is
fans,
what
man.
this is what they have. I know. This is you triggered him.
I know. That was my point.
Bucky Brooks.
We're trading away to six round pick, and we're gonna get
the best receiver in the draft.
Get TJ Watt.
Yep.
So it has the Bears going Caleb Williams, Commanders going Jaden Daniels, and the Patriots going Drake May. So that's 3 straight quarterbacks. Then it has the Cardinals getting Marvin Harrison Jr. So in this latest mock, obviously, this
I don't like that.
lot changes.
Yeah, I don't like
I
that.
don't like
either.
that. I think we can finally agree. We don't like that.
Chargers
You
going
guys, yeah.
Chargers going Joe Alt, which is supposed to be like a once in a lifetime offensive tackle talent. for
They
Notre
need
Dame.
that.
And then the next quarterback taken would be
JJ McCarthy.
JJ
No.
McCarthy.
Really?
No,
probably.
I was gonna say Penix. And
Penix
I know that
Penix
some
is
scouts
falling
are
because
up.
of-
Yeah.
But I
still think he's
quote
a
me
first
right
rounder,
now,
though.
Penix is going to be the best quarterback in the draft.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow.
How about them apples?
I mean, remember during the playoff run, people were like, look out. This is actually the best QB. And then he had a national championship game that was a little underwhelming. And then some of the like pro days since then or the Senior Bowls were like, okay, maybe he's not the guy. But
he's going to be the guy.
I'm like, I
gonna
know
be the
what we
guy.
saw.
JJ McCarthy
Stop
going
overthinking
12th to the Broncos, and then we don't have another quarterback.
Dude,
That's
The
crazy
Broncos
that
need,
JJ
the
McCarthy.
Broncos need to stop drafting quarterbacks.
JJ McCarthy,
They-
Michigan QB.
maybe the Broncos should run
Why?
a system without a quarterback.
What are we doing?
If you can't win with Russell Wilson,
Yeah, for real.
You want to talk about game manager? JJ McCarthy. No.
Who the Rams getting there?
Chop Robinson, who's a Fanatics exclusive.
We're getting Chop?
Chop Robinson, Penn State edge rusher.
No
Freak
idea.
athletes. Rush potential would help the Rams upgrade a defense that needs more depth along the front.
Wait, so we're either the one I looked at, we're getting Kool-Aid. This one we're getting Chop.
Yeah, Kool-Aid would.
Chop or Kool-Aid?
Chop or Kool-Aid?
Which one you want?
Kool-Aid would be the 27th pick to Arizona. Arizona has 2 picks in the first round. But what spots would help the hobby out? Especially from break perspective, I guess. New England really, they have their, I guess we don't get a lot of Brady cards anymore unless you go backwards. But I guess Washington getting Jaden Daniels, that'd be a good thing, right? Because there's not a lot to chase for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
guess
seen
so.
just from the front lines of ripping
Wait,
products,
they
a
getting
lot
rid
of
of, they're not
products.
doing it. Sam Howell?
Commanders
say.
have gotten pretty decent, out the gate picks that people are excited about. They just none of them just really are panning
No
out.
one pans out.
Like Brian Robinson,
Yeah.
Chase Young back in a couple years
Caleb
ago.
Williams going to Chicago.
I don't know.
Is real
I don't know
exciting.
if for the hobby wise, if the Washington
Jahan
market
Dotson.
is the best.
Yeah.
But also a lot of these guys, this is the new thing now. A lot of these guys, I know Caleb Williams is included, not going to be at the combine.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm Caleb Williams,
Marvin.
why would I go to the? Why would you?
Marvin,
if you're
yeah.
if you're gonna be a top 10 pick right now, why would you risk going to the combine to potentially drop?
You're scared, but if you're that good, why don't you just go to the combine?
Well, and
but
did
you
you
could
see
but you could
too-
only lose though. You could only lose going to the combine.
Did
The
you al-
combine is
yeah.
only for guys who are trying to move up in the draft. But if you're already projected to be a top 10 pick, don't show up.
Yeah. I saw that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not doing any of that, and he doesn't have an agent.
He's his own agent.
He doesn't have an
He's
agent.
probably got somebody.
Wow.
Maybe his
But
daddy.
I was going to say, it might be
daddy.
dad,
Yeah.
but he does not have an agent as of right now.
Lamar Jackson, same thing. I've heard he has.
That
his
was the
mom
thing.
as
And
his
you know what?
It worked.
It worked. So maybe there's a lot of players going, hell do I need that for?
save that 5-10% or whatever it is.
Right. And he might be, it could very well be his dad doing this, which
Yeah.
might be not the worst move.
Let's move on to some Fanatics frustration. We had the looming new jerseys and pants that people aren't very fond of. That's I think anytime anybody mentions anything Topps related, they're like, "What about the jerseys?" That's all I see on social media these days. Cody, I know you really like them. Give your
Yeah,
take on
God,
them.
they're so great. They're breathable, and they feel good. They're everything the players have wanted, right? That's
like
what
how-
they're telling me. That's what they keep trying to tell me. That's what they get Mike Trout and Mookie Betts to tell me. Oh, guys, give it a chance. Can you believe they get these guys? First of all, I know we might be about a week behind here, but I was out of the country and this was happening, and I'm like, I cannot believe what is happening here. This is a travesty. What is going on here? I will go that far.
A travesty.
They
huh?
got Mike Trout and Mookie Betts to do damage control 2 weeks before all of this stuff came out because they knew they were sitting on a ticking time bomb because they're all like, guys, give it a chance. Actually, we like these jerseys. Actually, they're good. And then the guys who weren't faces of the game started wearing them. They go, oh, this sucks. You can all see my junk. They don't look. They don't feel good.
They make you faster.
Yeah.
I mean, I might buy one. So if I go to a Giants game, I can get to the beer line faster.
You're gonna buy the jersey that is the same price.
Get through the beer line.
that those
faster.
the beautiful embroidered jerseys of yesteryear of all we grew up. They always looked great. They always those hand stitched jerseys, and you're gonna pay the same amount for some ironed-on crap.
You know what?
Don't love that. Don't love the amount. When Doug told me how much they were,
Yeah.
like $280 or
Yeah.
$300.
Yeah.
That's tough. That is tough. You should be getting something. I don't care if it's it shouldn't. If you're generally wearing it as a fan, it doesn't need to be lightweight and
No.
wick
At least give us
moisture away and all this stuff. It doesn't need to be that. It's needs to be fashionable more than anything else.
But the reason you buy the authentic version of any sport is that you're buying the same ones. The idea is that you're buying the same ones that the athletes are wearing on the field, on the court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, I get it, but I also see what you're saying. I think the non-authentic ones at $180 are a crazy price for like a cheaper version of the jersey.
But I don't know if there's a bigger
Mike
difference.
Clevenger.
The one you're seeing, so I have the pictures up here. So you have one unfortunate where we all sort of realize this is really bad. The Casey Schmidt of the Giants.
The one before
it's
it,
blurred
next to the
out.
alley.
Oh yeah, the one that's a couple of Guardians players. But I don't
not
know.
Clevenger, right?
No. He's Austin
See
Hedges
what
and somebody
I
else.
mean, they're trying to get females and other people to get into baseball, and like, you know what's kind of nice about it is I get to see how long the jersey goes. And
how long the jersey goes? Is that what you were
Yeah,
saying?
and
Not
then-
how long they go, but the jersey.
the jersey.
That's
And then
okay. Fair enough.
The fact that this guy in the
Dude,
Guardians.
the ladies aren't going to the game. I don't want to see a bunch of dudes running around.
look
Like,
at this.
I mean,
That's the kind of world I want to live in.
and the fact that under his pants, he's wearing the Nike bike shorts.
We want to look.
I know that.
We all go to the game and we go, we want to see the goods. Come on. I paid a lot of money to be here.
I get to see
That's
it. Maybe,
not fair.
Maybe he's
That's the kind of world I want to live in.
Awful, dude.
Maybe
This
he's
is
wearing
so
like
bad.
I wear shiesty boxers. Like,
And just-
maybe I can find out if a player's wearing that. now.
And just to hear them say this is the same thing it was last year, like stop it, like stop spitting on me and telling me it was raining.
when you go to a game, do you wear straight up game material? Like you're wearing the baseball pants?
no.
You wearing cleats? You wearing stirrups?
No,
Eye black? What are we doing?
look, I get the whole breathable. Like I can understand changing the jersey to be more comfortable, but like, is it really that much more comfortable when you slide into second and then your pants are so thin that there's
Tear up
tissue
your ass?
paper and then you're just wearing the White Sox shorts from the 70s? Like, is that really what we want? I don't know. It's just
I say
it's incredibly
let's
frustrating.
see how it is in actual game work
Right.
first.
Yeah.
But what I fear is and I have noticed some teams have actually opted for the thicker pants already in spring training. Very quietly.
well, there's an option.
Well, I don't know if there is.
I know-
I think the
you know,
Players
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Association.
No,
has
I
been
know.
upset.
I know there was
They
a
just went to the mall.
there was a player who said, "I am going out to Dick's Sporting Goods to
Yeah.
get some baseball pants."
I think that
So
the Players
'cause I'm
Association.
not trying to sell hot dogs over
Yeah,
there.
the Players Association
I'm trying
has
to be a hot dog vendor.
expressed enough displeasure where I think there's teams that they're just kind of like F it. Like if we get fined, we get fined. Like we can't do this.
I mean, with this much, from the outside looking in, not being a huge baseball person that watches a lot of baseball games, I guess it doesn't. I'm not that reactive to the story, but it seems like there's enough reaction that Fanatics is probably going to do something.
They
about
have
it.
I think
to.
people like complaining mostly because
Well, I was
this
gonna
is
say, is this
this
like-
is not going to affect me watching games.
Did you guys-
I'm not going
Of
to be
course
like
it won't,
these
but-
jerseys. I can't even bother
But it's
even
a
watching this
cheapening
game.
but it is a cheapening
Look at
of the
these things
game. You have the most expensive. I'll put the picture up again. You have the most expensive player in all of pro sports wearing a Halloween costume.
I also thought it was like
it's ridiculous.
proper uniform to wear a cup.
Well, that's a whole different story.
I mean,
with baseball players.
So
that some are wearing
these
it,
ball
some aren't.
players. I mean, I'm assuming catchers
That
got to
ain't
be
even-
wearing a
that
cup,
ain't even
right?
a
'Cause you're-
magnifying glass to read guys' names on the back of their jersey now. Like, it's ridiculous. And here's where I'll bring in the card aspect, and it's where I am like, I do like. It's sort of conspiracy theory, but I've seen enough people say it now where it's like, is there a little part of, because now it's what? I think this is the first year where Fanatics is basically taking the specs from Nike and producing the jerseys. Is there a little part of me that thinks, are they doing this so that the manufacturing of the cards with relics is just a little bit cheaper, that they're cutting costs a little bit? Yes. I
was
do
thinking
think
that
there
too.
is something to that,
But
and it
honest-
makes me mad. It makes me
honestly-
upset. Like, how much are you really
But
saving?
somebody, I mean, we're like pointing a finger at like Fanatics and going Fanatics. Somebody at Nike had to
There's that too.
give a stamp of approval and be like, "This looks good. We're going to put our brand on it."
Right. They're absolutely deserving of blame as well. They're absolutely.
Yeah,
deserving.
I don't hear a lot of people blaming,
Right.
maybe because the industry we're in and what we see, but I don't see a lot of people blaming Nike as much as they're blaming Fanatics.
think, too,
it is
though-
Fanatics' fault. They did it. How dare they ruin the jersey? I'm done with baseball.
Clearly, the person that tried it on tucked it.
I think that Nike has more of a trust when it comes to quality of branding. Like when you wear Nike stuff, like it's usually good quality. It lasts. It's good. It's good. Whereas I think Fanatics has a reputation to a lot of fans, especially in the merchandising part, where they're like, it can be a little shaky.
What if the jerseys had like built-in underwear? Like that thickened it up in that area.
That's what's actually going on?
Well, I never thought on February
wrestling
28th,
Yeah.
the February 28th edition of the podcast, we'd be talking about guys' clothes. But we're here, so
Fashion. This is a fashion podcast.
It is.
I don't know if you guys knew.
So it sounds like we're all done with baseball, huh? This is the final.
This is my
straw.
breaking point.
I'm
This is
actually
the
really
breaking
excited
point.
about baseball this year for some reason. I might watch.
Our
more
patch
than
is not
10
going to be
games.
as nice. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, this is what I'm saying, is that it's not embroidered anymore. They're ironed on. So they're not going to look, they're not that pop where you're like, wow, what a sick patch. It's just going to be an ironed on patch.
Kind of like the NBA did, right?
Yeah.
NBA
Right,
is
that's the
like that.
thing. And here's the thing is maybe I'm also.
Would you prefer? Because these are all all the top stuff is game worn, or you prefer a nice, dope, like non-ironed on patch, but it's not worn,
I
not
would.
game worn.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, This is the argument now.
This is the argument. You want to know that your favorite player wore this? This was
I
in
guess
or
I'm
around
at the
his
point
junk
where I'm
area.
like, I don't know. I don't know. I just want them to wear the nice ones like we've always worn. And everything was fine.
This was a. I remember when basketball switched over from like stitching to embroidery.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
It was kind of the
football
same
is kind of
upward,
gone.
yeah.
Football's
Yeah, remember
also
when the
gone there as well.
LeBron's jersey ripped the first day, ripped down the back?
Yep.
Yeah, growing pains.
Yeah. Well, or maybe it's a big April Fool's joke. as the season
Remember
comes around.
the fine Majestic. We can go back to the Majestic jerseys. Maybe.
I do love the Majestics.
Majestic's awesome. But
Yeah, they were great.
they were not a big enough company to compete with the Nike of the world. So another snafu. Obviously, you guys probably already heard about this. Series 1 was supposed to have the first card stamp signifying the first one printed of top rookies this year. Actually, all the rookies. And they did not put the stamp on the front saying first card, but the back of the card does say 1 of 1. This has gotten the hobby very angry. Everybody's very angry. And it's a good thing that your breaker, mojobreak.com, well, some of you guys break with us, maybe you just listen to our podcast. We ship all base. So the question is to some of those breakers that are out there, because I'm assuming nobody's looking at the back of every card. That would be silly, and we didn't know about this. Now we do. That there could be a 1 of 1 that's in with your base cards. So I would go back and check. I go through piles of base cards. But it's just sucks because they promoted it this way, and then it comes out and they didn't do it.
So it's not in the middle like all the rare
don't
stuff
know.
is.
Yeah, we don't know.
We would assume it was in the
I would
middle.
assume it would be in the middle, but it would probably not be backwards, and it would just be a base card. So if somebody is flying through it, they're just like, oh, that was just a regular base card that was in the middle
Because
of
the
the
numbered
pack.
cards are backwards, like the number to 6, the stars and stripes one's backwards.
But some of the photo variations where they were like, we added the gold back, so it's more obvious. Well, it's not obvious when the gold back isn't backwards. Like I had to be like, I think this is a photo variant. Oh, yep, it is. Okay.
Yeah, we're seasoned vets here, so like we would probably catch it. But again, we ship. This is a non-issue with us because we ship all base, like it or not. Here at MojoBreak.com, you get all your base cards.
a lot of base.
A lot of base.
So Topps did issue a statement. They got out in front of it, which is the right thing to do. For those who have pulled these cards, we'd like to offer these to stamp these cards with the first card, as well as provide you with a Topps credit. To initiate the request for the stamp and the Topps credit, please go to Topps.com account to file a claim. And now I know what social media was saying, and I haven't seen the back of any of these cards, that they were saying people can just now stamp a 1 of 1 on a back of a base card and send it in and say, I pulled it. But that would work unless the serial code on the back is different, which I would assume it would be.
I hope so.
Because
I
the
hope
serial
so.
numbering on SP I'm talking about the little
I-
Topps code on the back is different. Base cards are different than SPs. I would hope that there is a different number than the base card on the back of said card. So we'll see. Or else, yes, that would be a problem of people trying to. I don't know where you're going to get
And
a
where the heck
one-on-one
do you get a
stamp.
one-on-one stamp
Yeah,
machine,
exactly.
dude?
Exactly.
Where's Luis Rodriguez when we need him?
Yeah.
So
With
okay,
his great auto.
I just went on eBay to see if there are any of these up there now, and this may lend some credence to the first card thing because I'm getting confusion about this is only for rookies, or there's also vet ones of the first card, but most people seem to be in agreement that it's mostly that's all rookies, because the only one I see that's sold is a Miami Marlins team card that is considered a first card with the 1-of-1 stamp on it, and it looks pretty legit from what I'm seeing, unless they did a great Photoshop job, which, by the way...
Why would there be a first
That's what I'm saying.
team card?
That's why
The Marlins have been around for a while.
Right. So
1993, I believe.
Is it not a rookie distinction thing, which they never really made clear?
Yeah, that's true.
Is this just this is the first card that we printed?
I guess it would
for
be
2024.
along the lines of, I don't know if some of you guys remembered Stadium Club. They had the first day issue stamp on there, which there wasn't just one. There was a good amount of them, but it was the first day they printed the cards, they assigned those stamps. So it could be on every card. We don't know.
Yeah.
So if that is in fact true, then maybe it's not just in the middle of the pack.
And this card, by the way, sold for $250. So take that for
it's I'm gonna try to look at it. It's just literally looks like
It's just the Marlins team card for 2024, and on the back it's got the 1-of-1.
Didn't they do this with jerseys last year as well? But didn't they do this with was it Ohtani, like the first Dodger?
Oh, yes. They did
jersey.
do a thing where it was like the first. Yeah, they did that. They did that with.
Wouldn't
with
that Marlins card just be a 1-on-1 version of that?
That's
base
what I'm
card?
saying. Yeah,
Not the first.
but because of this distinction, it's technically first card issued. Yeah, that's where I'm like.
I thought it's just, that would just be a 1-on-1
Yeah.
base card of that card.
Because
Because there's a 1-on-1 version of every single base
right.
card.
I even thought on day one when I was ripping through it, I'm like, man, I haven't seen any of the first cards. I haven't seen any other breaks with
So
first cards. And then I was kind of like, I guess they just abandoned it. And I'm like, oh, well, who cares?
So you're saying for rookies, there's a 1-on-1 first rookie,
And then there's
there's
platinum.
also a 1-on-1
Yeah.
regular rookie.
Right.
Sweet.
Which, I mean, I think we all can agree if you can have one of the two, I'd rather have the platinum.
Yeah.
I don't care about yeah. I don't know. This is like, maybe this is a way of the baseball, the hobby gods are telling you, who cares?
I think it's safe to say
cares?
there's been some growing pains
Yes.
with the Fanatics takeover of Topps, and there's probably going to be more. And it's something that I think we're just kind of getting used to at this point, unfortunately. But how many releases have we had where there hasn't been anything's go wrong?
It almost feels like the norm.
But we also, I mean, we can go into Prizm as well. It's not isolated to just Topps. Upper Deck has had issues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had a lot of products that are missing hits. We've had Panini Prizm, $900 a box. There's a bunch of people who are opening that's missing all the autos. So,
And, Topps did do a great job of marketing the Rip Party. So if you want to, I like to hit some negatives with some positives. We had Tom Brady. We had Meek Mill. There was Steve Aoki. There was Joe Burrow.
We had them?
We didn't.
Oh, I was like, man, I'm like.
we had a taco truck.
I was here and I didn't see any of those
better.
We had
people.
taco fractors.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had taco trucks, which frankly, look, Tom's great. Tom Brady, great, but give me a good taco over Tom Brady.
Yeah, nice birria. Yeah.
Oh,
we had that. But yeah, I mean, so they did a good job of getting some of these shops, some celebrities to promote the event, and Ruben did a great video with Kevin Hart to promote Series 1 as well. So when have you seen that kind of stuff? So you kind of take the good with the bad as well. The bad, how about Whatnot? Continues to be bad. Continues to be the flea market of breaks. We will let anybody who's a seller who can have a computer or a phone and open up cards, we'll let you on there. Release dates, we don't care. You could break it. Go to the next thing we're going to see is a breaker is going to go to the printing facility. He's going to pull sheets off and start putting those in breaks. Because you know what? Release dates don't matter. But if you're a big seller on there and you got to abide by release dates, Well, these little guys that can get the boxes a day early from Dave and Adams or their distributors or whoever they're getting them from, they're going to just rip it early because they're going to find it an advantage. And Whatnot's going to say, you know what, we don't care because all we care about is money. So, but there's also a situation where Wembanyama was pulled out of a Monopoly pack, a 1 of 10 Blue Millionaire, which I guess is valued at about $5K. The seller was auctioning off the spots on Whatnot, and the guy that won the Spurs, so apparently his payment got declined. But they verbally reached an agreement that he would pay him. So the break proceeded on. He pulled this 1 of 10 Wembanyama, like I said, valued around $5,000. And he basically says now that, you know what, since you didn't pay, it's my card. So the IOU got thrown out of the window. This guy's pissed. I guess the seller, Differ.
He offered him $100. So.
Differ said, "I'll give you $100 for your troubles."
I'll give you $100 for your troubles.
And it's taken off on social media because this stuff continues to happen on Whatnot. So, I honestly, as a breaking company, I never look at the value of any card that is pulled because that is the wrong way to look at your business. The cards are for the customers, not for you, ever. I would have never done an IOU to begin with. I would have just probably reran the card. But if I did do an IOU, yeah, that's your card. You got to pay me. Now, could you have maybe given them a time limit after the break? That would have been acceptable. Like, hey, you got to pay in 24 hours. I think anybody in their right mind would give you $100 for a $5,000 card. It's on the breaker. So this doesn't look very transparent. And the breaker should honor his IOU.
This also getting back to Whatnot, and we have always been a big fan of the live e-commerce platforms. We were on Whatnot.
Yep.
We've done Loop. We did Drip. We're on Fanatics Live. Like, we did them all.
We're not too
really
much of dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, but we did them all to try to just navigate and learn. Like, it was a new situation to us, so we felt that we really had to go out there and learn. And why not learn from all these different platforms? Whatnot needs to figure out a better vetting process for letting their breakers come on board and be able to sell. It reflects poorly on Whatnot as a brand when stuff like this happens and these scams happen. And it happens, I would say, I'd be like, man, we're talking about this, but it's really isolated. It's not. It happens every week. There was one a couple days ago with like the guy who was the LA Breakers, who literally like just scanned over the hit and just put it to the side. Like, this stuff, literally, you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, every week there is a breaker scam, somebody doing something shady, and then you look at what platform it's on, it's almost 100% on Whatnot.
Yep.
Loop, I know they don't do as much volume as Whatnot, but you never hear of any shady stuff that's going on with Loop. You don't hear anything that goes on with Drip. It literally always comes back to Whatnot.
And
you don't
if it ever
Fanatics
happens,
Fanatics Live, you don't really hear anything.
And if it does happen on Fanatics Live, it gets stamped out really fast.
100%. And
very good at
I
it.
mean, I know Whatnot has tried to put procedures in place. Like, they had the
Community police.
They had the community police, which obviously
It's not working.
not working. You gotta have a better vetting system.
Yeah, they are running this like an open door policy. Like, anybody that can join us can join us. Because we're just going to make fees. We don't care about anything else. And that's just not good for the customer. It's also not good for guys that go on there and grind, build up their client base, and then they're just going to let this guy with some Prizm retail go on the app and scam people, and people see this, and then maybe that empire of customers you've built on Whatnot get affected by that, and they go somewhere else. It's just not good. Just reward your power sellers. I've even heard rumors that like other apps aren't even letting other breakers on their app until they provide a following. Like, because they're like, well, we've already got established sellers. If you're going to come out here without a following, then you're going to take some of the following of the breakers that have already established themselves. But Whatnot doesn't seem like they care. They just let anybody go on there.
Well, and again, Whatnot, you go on that app and it's not isolated to sports cards. That is just one small piece of the pie. And when we hear all the scams, we're in the sports card industry, and Pokemon and stuff like that. So we hear those. Imagine the amount of scams that probably go on the app altogether with like the sneakers, the clothing, the comics, the coins.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's never been a fake Jordan show, like a knockoff.
Well, since we don't like follow those industries as much, we don't even hear what's going on. So like, their issues are not isolated to just the trading card category. It's probably running rampant on every single category they have on that app. And the consensus is, at least in our industry, is that if you want to get ripped off, you go to Whatnot. Like, that is all you literally hear. I mean...
Yeah, and we're not using this as an advertisement to break with us. That'd be great if you did. If not, there's plenty of other great options out there. I mean, you got to look at, if you're going to try to protect yourself as a consumer, you need to see how long this person's been in business, what their social media platform looks like. You can kind of get an idea of how long they've been in the business by their social media platform. And I think even on Whatnot, you can see past videos. If this is like this guy's second break, like, how do you know if he hits a card like this? These guys could be like, you know what? This guy may have started his business with $500. He had a webcam and a laptop, and he's on here doing his first Monopoly break. And you know what? He sees this $5,000 card. He's like, you know what? I don't think I was going to be a breaker anyway. So he cashes out. Yeah, $5,000 it doesn't seem like a lot, but maybe for him it's enough to go ahead and move on to another career.
But honestly, to take it even further, though, he could go. It was so easy for me to get set up as a seller on this platform that if I hit something big enough, I can just fade away out from this name and probably start up again with another name as a new seller and just do the same exact thing all over again.
Right. That's a good point.
Yep. I'll just say, I mean, the scam here, obviously, the worst here of these two issues, of these two scenarios that we brought up, but it's just such a pet peeve in this hobby of like, how many times have we been in here and I hear we're like we're just checking in on Whatnot. They're breaking such and such a day early, 2 days early. Cool. Great. Nobody cares. And then and it kind of feels like
the Messi superfractor was pulled yesterday out of Finest on Whatnot early. They did not have an exclusive right to rip that product early, but instead of Whatnot stepping in and being like, hey, as a seller, you got to respect release dates.
Oh, they're going to pump this
they're
up.
Like,
look
they're
what
all,
got pulled on Whatnot.
We don't give a shit.
They told us.
We've
asked them.
We asked them, and they're like, honestly, it gets more eyeballs and it gets more traction to the website. And I'm like, so you basically don't give a crap about the industry as a whole,
any
right?
rules, really.
Yeah. Rules don't apply to you. It's about likes, clicks, and making that service fee, huh?
It sucks that they're playing by a different set of rules where we're all waiting, and then it just, like, look, I'm not saying, like, the Topps MLS Finest is going to be hot because Messi's in it. Doesn't matter regardless if the superfractor gets pulled or not on day one. It's just, but it does take the wind out of your sails. And we'll leave things right there. That does it for this week's episode of The Hype. We did have a small little technical glitch at the end with Doug's outro, so it's going to be me outroing the show this week. But thanks again for listening, guys. Make sure to go over to MojoBreak.com. All the latest breaks, all the newest releases. Get into some breaks. Join us on Fanatics Live wherever you're at. And we will see you next week on The Hype.